Beef and Lamb New Zealand is working here, helping farmers make informed business decisions to be more productive and profitable, listening to farmers, providing the right tools at the right time, trusted, independent information, having farmers' backs with the big issues they can't tackle alone, like the environment, gaining access to markets and overcoming barriers to trade, working for family and communities, and building relationships to deliver. We are by farmers, for farmers. We are Beef and Lamb New Zealand.
Providing them with machinery, advice and technical support to work the land. And we're proud to embrace guardianship too, over the land, our communities and what we leave for future generations. And we're supporting a more sustainable, diverse and prosperous future for New Zealand, Aotearoa.
Massey University works with our industry partners to find innovative and sustainable solutions through research and development. Our graduates provide New Zealand and the world with the latest knowledge and expertise across the food value chain. From smart production systems to food product development, and from market research to developing international trade. New Zealanders are renowned for their innovation and finding solutions. Massey is proud to be a part of the Balanced Farm Environment Awards, recognising Kiwi ingenuity and celebrating sustainable land management.
Global freshwater demand will increase 55% by 2050, and 70% of all freshwater is used in agriculture. Water is a finite resource, so optimising its usage is essential. We believe efficient, sustainable and reliable water technology is vital to the future of farming practices. We are the partners for sustainable success. Waterforce. Wise with water.
The New Zealand dairy industry exports to more than 150 countries, feeding over 100 million people. We are world leaders in emissions efficiency. The rotary dairy shed was invented here. Dairying contributes over $14 billion to the New Zealand economy each year. New Zealand dairy farmers have invested in their own organisation to pool skills required to help them succeed at home and on the world stage, through discovering new ways to farm more efficiently, reducing our footprint, improving animal care, sharing knowledge, working with local and central government, creating quality work environments, educating children, so they can provide for their families, support their communities, care for their animals, and leave their land in a better state than they found it. Dairy NZ, working for New Zealand dairy farmers.
Down here, we are doing milk differently. We bring out the best in nature and unlock its potential through new thinking and new technologies. Our mission is to be a catalyst for change, to make sustainability not a catchphrase, but the core of all we do. Because if we can do it, others will follow. And that will change our industry, benefit our country, and leave a legacy for future generations. It's a hard road to do things differently, to try things that haven't been done, to risk, to challenge. It's a pioneering mindset to stand for more and play a bigger role in New Zealand. Here's to the journey ahead. Here's to reimagining what we do and how we do it. Here's to harnessing the spirit this company was founded on and moving towards a future that we're yet to imagine. Here's to doing it with attitude.
Property. It's one of the most fiercely competitive markets in New Zealand. And that's why we at Bayleys continue to work to rise above the competition. We pride ourselves on being better, on doing our best to build on our hard-earned reputation every day. Since 1999, we've had a dedicated team of country experts whose skills and know-how have made us leaders in the field. We represent every sector of the rural landscape, from large-scale farms, stations, forestry, vineyards and specialty rural properties to lifestyle blocks and homes in the country. And we treat every single one with our legendary professionalism and integrity, whatever the scale. No one knows this market quite like us. We go above and beyond, time after time, day after day, year after year, to achieve the best possible results for our clients. That's why we're the nation's #1 rural real estate brand. Bayleys Country. We're altogether better.
To the rest of the world, New Zealand is envied for its spectacular landscapes, recognised for its agricultural expertise, and admired for its innovation. We're also known for being good sorts, and for over 30 years we've played a key role in that story, with a commitment to provide independent, expert analytical testing for the agricultural sector. We've achieved this by investing hugely in new methods and technologies that improve the accuracy of our results, investing in digital tools that make it easy for our customers to work with us, investing in new lab facilities that increase our efficiency and effectiveness, and investing in the sharpest minds in the country to ensure we remain at the forefront of analytical testing. 30 years ago, we made a commitment to rural New Zealand. Today, that commitment is as strong as ever.
Every farming region is unique.
The land, the ways of farming,
the people. That's why we're here with you, up and down the country.
Getting things just right for each place, like here at our Huntly Service Centre.
And over here at the self-service silo.
We've got world-class manufacturing right here in New Zealand.
But we also search the world, working with the best partners
to create the best products
and help you apply them in the best way to keep your farm sustainable.
We're busy supporting farmers in all sorts of ways.
All over the place.
Wherever we are, we're working towards the same goal.
Making sure New Zealand remains one of the best farming nations in the world.
Together creating the best soil and feed on earth.
Now, on a good high country muster, we have a lot of stragglers. My family had one. It was known as Shrek. It missed 6 musters. Shrek is actually currently in Te Papa. So can I ask our last stragglers at the back there to come through and please find their seats so that we can get this underway. Thank you. Doing well for time. Oh, it's always the politicians, isn't it, that are last to take their seat, and they also don't like being embarrassed, so I won't name them individually. But if you could also find your seat, that would be fabulous, and we'll get right underway. Thank you so much to the team for the music there. Oh, if you need to go to the toilet, that's okay. You need to go to the toilet. Well, welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Congratulations. It is very hard to get a room under control, especially after the last 12 months that we've had, and the opportunity to catch up is very, very special. So I do appreciate you being very diligent in making our 6:45 sharp start. Thank you very, very much. Now, kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa, and welcome to Te Papa, the National Museum of New Zealand. And I saw as I was walking in the words Te Taiao and the opportunity for New Zealand to experience nature here in Te Papa, something many of you in the room get to experience daily and be the custodians of. So it's extremely wonderful to have Te Papa as the home for the 2021 New Zealand Farm Environment Trust National Sustainability Showcase and the presentation of the esteemed Gordon Stevenson Trophy, which is named in honour of the Waikato farmer and noted conservationist, the late Gordon Stevenson. Thank you so much. I know I recognise so many faces in this room, the wonderful guests that have travelled from around Aotearoa, New Zealand to be here tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful celebration. I know there's a lot of past winners in the room as well. And to those watching on the live stream from around the world, and of course here at home, thank you so much for tuning in as well. So, the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust is a charity that was set up to promote sustainable farming and growing and share knowledge and expertise within the farming community. The 2020 Balanced Farm Environment Award Regional Supreme winners have showcased their environmental sustainability initiatives and demonstrated the benchmark for farming and growing food and fibre here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. The properties from last year's winners that are here tonight for us to celebrate are properties that include dairy and beef finishing, sheep, beef, deer and a milk goat farming operation, as well as commercial vegetable growers, so across the board. I'm your MC for this evening, Sarah Perriam, and I absolutely love what I get to do on a day-to-day job, being a part of rural media and speaking and sharing the stories of innovative food and fibre producers across this country. We have many challenges, but those challenges shared together are certainly felt less brutally, and we can also share our learnings around what we are doing on our individual farming and growing operations as well. I've seen over my 10 years in rural media a real increase in awareness and actions happening in biodiversity, in the environment, and the pride that we have in sharing our stories around the work that we were already doing or want to continue to do. And it's so important to connecting with our consumer. The increasing pride around catchment groups and what's happening around the country, that proactive focus in addressing our water issues here is something I absolutely love sharing on a weekly basis with my audience, but also too with you all here tonight. Natural capital has become a term that we're discussing now, and it really is an asset value to the property going forward. It's more than just aesthetics. And the contribution that farmers and growers are making to the land and the environment is now in the awareness of the financiers and governance around our farms as well. It's something I think you should all be extremely proud of, the direction that we're taking our country. Now, the format of the evening, we're going to hear from the chair of the National Farm Environment Trust, Joanne van Poelenen, and Honourable Damien O'Connor, Minister of Agriculture, before we break for entree. Before dinner, we will hear from the CEO of Balance Agri-Nutrients, Mark Wynne, meet the first 5 regional winners, hearing from them before they are presented with their jackets. Following dinner, we will continue to meet the last 5 regional winners and finish off with the 2019 recipients of the Gordon Stevenson Trophy, Adrian and Pauline Bull, before breaking for dessert. To complete the evening, before announcing our 2021 National Ambassadors for Sustainable Farming and Growing, when they will receive the Gordon Stevenson Trophy, we're going to bask in the Boys on Tour with footage from the ultimate roadie of Jamie Strang and Warwick Caddo, where they visited the winners from Kaio to Riverton, from north to south, and Jamie will provide a summary around the judging process. I'm sure there'll be some funny stories from that trip as well. Now, some formalities: the emergency exits to your right and left, as well as the toilets. There is complimentary wine on the tables, as well as a cash bar available at the back. Please, if you haven't, put your mobile phones on silent. And you are welcome to tweet and post images to social media throughout the event. We would love you to tag the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust's Facebook, Instagram or Twitter handles as well. So please feel free. There's a wonderful photo booth at the back where Sarah will be taking some photos as well, so make the most of that as well. I want to acknowledge a number of our special guests here tonight. Honourable Damien O'Connor, Minister for Agriculture, our MPs in the room tonight, the Honourable David Bennett, Honourable Eugenie Sage, Barbara Kruger, Todd Muller, Penny Simmons, Joe Luxton, Simon Court, and Councillor Peter Scott, the Deputy Chair for Environment Canterbury. Now, in order to get to know the winners a little bit better, we're going to show a short video to acknowledge the incredible contribution the 2020 Regional Supreme winners of the Balance Farm Environment Awards. And can I ask for each Regional Supreme winner to stand as I announce their name and their details as they appear on screen, and I'd really love if we could all give them a round of applause afterwards. Now, because tonight is all about celebrating individually our Regional Supreme Award winners, we are going to ask each and every one of them to stand as I read out their names. We're Jeff Martin and Helen Linson from Takaro Farms in Kaio, who are beef farming. Well done. Matthew and Sarah Bolton, Oto Goat Farm in Franklin. Mark and Felicity Brother from Aria, Waitomo Sheep and Beef. Evan and Linda Potter from Alsthorpe in Central Hawke's Bay, sheep, beef and deer. The Brown family from Taranaki, Robert and Jane, Nick and Sophie, Will and Kate and Sam. From Stratford in South Taranaki. The Clark family from Horizons, John, Emma, Jay from Woodhaven Gardens in Levin. Aidan Bicken, Neville Fisher and Vern Bristol from the Greater Wellington, Kaiwaiwai Dairies in Featherston. And Tony Coltman and Dana Carver from Canlack Holdings. In Dunsandel, dairy farming. Otago's Anna and Ben Gillespie from Two Farmers Farming in Omakal in Central Otago. And lastly, from the Deep South, from Riverton, from Granity Downs, Geordie and Francis Eade. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to invite to the stage the Chair of the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust and Mid-Canterbury dairy farmer, Joanne Van Pollinen.
No mai, haere mai. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sustainability Showcase for 2021. I'm excited and relieved to be here after an unusual 12 months for us all. Thank you to the many of you who have travelled from near and far to be here this evening and share the celebration of some of our amazing food and fibre producers. Sarah has already acknowledged a number of special guests. I would also like to thank the Minister for Agriculture, Damien O'Connor, for his ongoing support. A special welcome to the 2020 Regional Supreme winners from the Balanced Farm Environment Awards. Thank you for your patience with us during a disrupted year. It's great to see that many of you have been joined by friends, members of your family and farm teams tonight. Thank you to the previous entrants and award winners from throughout the country that have made the effort to be here, and it's wonderful to see you all again. I'd like to thank former Supreme winners Jim and Marilyn Law, together with Kurt and Lisa Portis, who kindly hosted our alumni at Palliser Ridge yesterday. This was a wonderful opportunity for a farm visit ahead of the Alumni Summit, which was held today. This evening is not just about showcasing some of the country's inspiring farmers and growers. It's also an opportunity to award the Gordon Stephenson Trophy to one of the Supreme winners who will serve as ambassadors for sustainable farming and growing. The trophy is named after the late Gordon Stephenson, a Waikato farmer who promoted the idea of a Farm Environment Awards program in the 1990s. Gordon felt that the awards were a positive way of recognising farmers who were trying to balance profitability with environmental stewardship. Adrian and Pauline Ball, recipients of the Gordon Stephenson Trophy for 2019, will speak to us later this evening. I'm looking forward to hearing about their 2-year tenure as our ambassadors. We find that entrants get involved in the Balanced Farm Environment Awards as a way of gaining independent feedback from industry leaders, which they can use to improve the sustainability of their business. It's very rewarding for other trustees and I to witness the sincere appreciation when our entrants receive positive feedback through the Balanced Farm Environment Awards. And it's also great to see how many award winners go on to take up leadership roles in the community as a result of this experience. When we talk about sustainable farming, we still echo Gordon Stevenson's principle of food and fibre production that is environmentally friendly and financially rewarding. And this view is supported by the Trust's partners. On that note, I would like to acknowledge the generosity and backing of our partners. It's great to see a number of you here this evening, and I'd like to thank you for your continued support through a period of uncertainty. We look forward to continuing to work together to showcase some of the amazing things that are happening on farm and across the orchards of New Zealand. While we have endured some disruption, the purpose of the Trust to champion good practice across the primary sector has never been more relevant. Our food and fibre producers are facing some challenges, but from challenge lies opportunity. New Zealand is well placed to take advantage of global demand for natural, healthy, trusted, nutritious food that is produced to the highest environmental standards. In line with making the most of opportunities, the Trust is making some refinements to our program. This includes ensuring that the feedback we provide to entrants in the Balanced Farm Environment Awards will help to support continued investment in good practice. We're also looking at ways in which we can accelerate the adoption of good practice amongst a wider group of farmers and growers by working with some of our former award winners to inspire the next generation of proud and innovative food producers. One of the strengths of the awards program is that they're managed regionally by a group of locals that are passionate about farming and growing. And a warm welcome to the representatives from our regional teams that are here this evening, and thank you for everything that you do. It is the contribution that you make at grassroots with passion, humility and good humour that makes the Balanced Farm Environment Awards such a success. Thank you. My sincere thanks to James Ryan, the Trust's General Manager, and his hard-working team, Jane, Georgina, Debbie and Andrea Hanna, who is the National Judging Coordinator. Congratulations on successfully navigating a difficult year to culminate in this special celebration, and all the work that is going into planning for the awards program to get underway in spring. I consider it a privilege to chair the Trust and have the support of so many positive and progressive peers. My involvement with the Trust has highlighted to me that the New Zealand primary sector is blessed with a supported and committed team of farmers, academics and agribusiness sector working together for positive change. When I reflect on the state of the primary sector in New Zealand, I am very excited for our future. While we continue to face a range of challenges, I'm heartened by the people that I meet and their inspiring stories. This is particularly evident with the wonderful group of regional Supreme winners that are here this evening. It is a privilege to have the opportunity to learn more about you and your business, and I'm sure that you will take something positive from your involvement in the program. On behalf of the Trust, I would like to thank you all for getting involved in this wonderful program. Thank you very much and have a great night.
The New Zealand Farm Environment Trust was established in 2000 to promote sustainable farming and growing. The vision of the Trust is that New Zealand's food and fibre producers are recognised as global leaders in the stewardship of land and water.
Through its flagship activity, the Balance Farm Environment Awards, the Trust encourages farming and growing that is environmentally responsible and financially rewarding. The Trust is unique as it works across the primary sector to share good practice and celebrate the positive aspects of land management. The Trust is supported by its naming rights sponsor and a range of other progressive organisations that are committed to promoting sustainable land use. Farmers and growers get involved in the Balance Farm Environment Awards program in order to receive feedback from a range of independent professionals which they use to improve the sustainability of their businesses. The Balance Farm Environment Awards are successful at celebrating the achievements of farmers and growers throughout the country and showcase aspects of farming and growing with a wider audience.
Now it is time to take the moment to thank our national sponsors of the Balance Farm Environment Awards. Naturally, the first one is Balance, Agri-Nutrients, Bailey's Real Estate, Beef and Lamb New Zealand, Dairy NZ, Hills Laboratory, Massey University, Norwoods, Synlait, Waterforce. And the national partners of the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust, the Ministry for Primary Industries, Rabobank, Horticulture New Zealand, CRV and Rural Co. And the regional partners of the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust. I'm sure they cannot do their work without them. The Northland Regional Council, the Auckland Council, Waikato Regional Council, Bay of Plenty, Hawke's Bay, Gisborne District Council, Taranaki Regional Council, Horizons, Greater Wellington Regional Council, Environment Canterbury, Otago Regional Council, and Environment Southland. I'd love to welcome to the stage the Honourable Minister of Agriculture, Damien O'Connor, to grace us with some of his words.
Kia ora, thank you, Sarah. Tēnā koutou katoa. It is indeed an honour to be here. I'd like to acknowledge Joanna as the Chair of New Zealand Farm Environment Trust. I'd like to acknowledge CEO of Balance Agri-Nutrients, Mark Wynne. He's paying for this tonight, so thank you, Mark. I'd like to acknowledge Adrian and Pauline Ball, who were the 2019 winners. There are a number of politicians here. It's not because they all buy balanced fertiliser, but they, like many people here, and there are leaders across the agribusiness sector here who want to be here. Again, they don't buy balance necessarily, but they want to be connected with what is an amazing night and to celebrate an amazing objective across agriculture. So to my parliamentary colleagues, welcome, as I say, to all leaders. But I will say, more importantly, to those farmers and people who have participated in this at any stage, and it will go back a few years. You are the leaders that we are here to acknowledge tonight. And to those who are competing tonight, pick that up and take it home. I mean, this is pretty flash. The only time you'll probably get another one like this might be a real estate magazine. But it's a really nice acknowledgement, I guess, of what has been a huge amount of work to get here. So thank you for that. There'll be many people around the world who think they have lost a year over the last 12 months. People have been locked down. My daughter won for 12 months in London. I go on Zoom meetings, and all around the world people are still wearing masks. We are lucky, but it's been because of the hard work of the people across the primary sector and other sectors in our economy to do the right thing. Less than 1% reduction in total exports through COVID year. That is an amazing achievement. Thank you for that. Grant Robertson appreciates the tax. Look, it won't take me long to get through the 6 pages here of my notes. I might shorten them up. I don't want to be between you and some food. But it is, as I say, a night to acknowledge leadership across agribusiness. There are a few challenges ahead of us, but what this organisation, I guess the Trust, and then of course Balance themselves through the Farm Environment Awards, has been acknowledging for some time that sustainability in an environmental sense is really important. We know how important it is from a financial perspective, otherwise we wouldn't still be here. Socially, we've acknowledged the importance of our rural communities, and we have for some time the environment. But we don't know what we don't know sometimes. And I guess as we've started to measure the impacts of our farming systems, we've started to identify some challenges: freshwater, loss of soil, and things like that. We can achieve all the targets that the wider population expect of us. That's no further environmental degradation, and it's to lift us up to be the best country for the world, driven by the best farmers for the world as well. We can do that, and only then will we be able to say with hand on heart that we produce the finest, most ethically produced food and nutrition for the world's most discerning customers and get the money that we deserve. Some of you may have heard me say about Rolex watches. I'm not going to repeat it other than to say, who would pay $50,000 for a watch when you don't really need to know the time? There are people across the world who want to buy the best, be connected to the best, appreciate the best, and that applies to food as it does to watches, as it does to cell phones. That's the position that we have to work towards. We've got to move from volume to value, some people say, volume to values. Because people are driven, particularly if they have a choice, by values judgment on what they buy, what they contribute to, what they work at. That is a luxury often. Some people don't have choices. But those who buy our products are most likely to have choices. And if we can connect with their values so that when they buy our products, they say, I'm contributing positively to a better world, then we've got it made. And so thank you to Balance for taking the initiative. There are other initiatives around the country now when it comes to environmental acknowledgement and progress, but you started this across the agribusiness sector, and we appreciate that. Look, I hope we all have a good night. I'll acknowledge a couple of things. We have a vision. We have a plan through Fit for a Better World. Please engage with that as we move forward. Please engage with the fine-tuning of the water regulations. Please engage with animal welfare initiatives as they come out. And speaking with the UK Minister last week, he was emphasising, overemphasising, I would almost say, the importance of animal welfare when it comes to trade negotiations. And he says we're like-minded countries. But when we end up with non-tariff trade barriers on things like that, we're at risk. So we've just got to make sure that we're not exposed through poor practice in any way. So can I briefly acknowledge the Sustainable Agricultural Finance Initiative, because it's in my notes. But it's also, it's an initiative from the banks that says they will collectively, and there's a number of the banks involved, will finance sustainability investments on farm. Now, they won't be giving it away, you can be sure of that. But they will be focusing on that as part of their contribution through finance to the better world that we want to achieve. Look, good luck to all those people who are in the finals tonight. Thank you once again to anyone at any part of the system, and there'll be people working on your farms who might have run around and tidied up a few things in the yard or cleaned up a few weeds. They too have contributed to the whole process of judging, to providing inspiration and aspiration for others who might not be a part of this, but might be next year. So thank you very, very much. It's an exciting future for the best country in the world so that we can become the best country for the world. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Damien. Kia ora, thank you so much for your words. Great ones there around, being the inspiration and aspiration for our country. In terms of volume to value, can I share a story with you from an interview I did this week? $5,000 jars of Manuka honey into London. in terms of extrapolating value from storytelling. And each and every one of our alumni of the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust since its inception, right through to the winners, regional winners today, all have these beautiful stories that will continue to connect with us and our consumers going forward into the future. So a lot of work to do, but yes, thank you very much. We are on the right track. And we are also extremely on the right track with 4 minutes early for entrees. So I do apologise if they don't come out straight away, and they will be in alternate drops. So some negotiations might be going on over the next 20 minutes. We'll be back about 20 to 8 to kick off proceedings.
Beef and Lamb New Zealand is working here, helping farmers make informed business decisions to be more productive and profitable, listening to farmers, providing the right tools at the right time, trusted, independent information, having farmers' backs with the big issues they can't tackle alone, like the environment, gaining access to markets and overcoming barriers to trade, working for family and communities, and building relationships to deliver. We are by farmers, for farmers. We are Beef and Lamb New Zealand.
Massey University works with our industry partners to find innovative and sustainable solutions through research and development. Our graduates provide New Zealand and the world with the latest knowledge and expertise across the food value chain. From smart production systems to food product development, and from market research to developing international trade. New Zealanders are renowned for their innovation and finding solutions. Massey is proud to be a part of the Balanced Farm Environment Awards, recognising Kiwi ingenuity and celebrating sustainable land management.
Since 1948, Norwood has partnered with farmers, providing them with machinery, advice and technical support to work the land. And we're proud to embrace guardianship too, over the land, our communities and what we leave for future generations. And we're supporting a more sustainable, diverse and prosperous future for New Zealand, Aotearoa.
Global freshwater demand will increase 55% by 2050, and 70% of all freshwater is used in agriculture. Water is a finite resource, so optimising its usage is essential. We believe efficient, sustainable and reliable water technology is vital to the future of farming practices. We are the partners for sustainable success. Waterforce. Wise with water.
The New Zealand dairy industry exports to more than 150 countries, feeding over 100 million people. We are world leaders in emissions efficiency. The rotary dairy shed was invented here. Dairying contributes over $14 billion to the New Zealand economy each year. New Zealand dairy farmers have invested in their own organisation to pool skills required to help them succeed at home and on the world stage, through discovering new ways to farm more efficiently, reducing our footprint, improving animal care, sharing knowledge, working with local and central government, creating quality work environments, educating children, so they can provide for their families, support their communities, care for their animals, and leave their land in a better state than they found it. Dairy NZ, working for New Zealand dairy farmers.
Down here, we are doing milk differently. We bring out the best in nature and unlock its potential through new thinking and new technologies. Our mission is to be a catalyst for change, to make sustainability not a catchphrase, but the core of all we do. Because if we can do it, others will follow. And that will change our industry, benefit our country, and leave a legacy for future generations. It's a hard road to do things differently, to try things that haven't been done, to risk, to challenge. It's a pioneering mindset to stand for more and play a bigger role in New Zealand. Here's to the journey ahead. Here's to reimagining what we do and how we do it. Here's to harnessing the spirit this company was founded on and moving towards a future that we're yet to imagine. Here's to doing it with attitude.
Property. It's one of the most fiercely competitive markets in New Zealand. And that's why we at Bayleys continue to work to rise above the competition. We pride ourselves on being better, on doing our best to build on our hard-earned reputation every day. Since 1999, we've had a dedicated team of country experts whose skills and know-how have made us leaders in the field. We represent every sector of the rural landscape, from large-scale farms, stations, forestry, vineyards and specialty rural properties to lifestyle blocks and homes in the country. And we treat every single one with our legendary professionalism and integrity, whatever the scale. No one knows this market quite like us. We go above and beyond, time after time, day after day, year after year, to achieve the best possible results for our clients. That's why we're the nation's #1 rural real estate brand. Bayleys Country. We're altogether better.
To the rest of the world, New Zealand is envied for its spectacular landscapes, recognised for its agricultural expertise, and admired for its innovation. We're also known for being good sorts, and for over 30 years we've played a key role in that story, with a commitment to provide independent, expert analytical testing for the agricultural sector. We've achieved this by investing hugely in new methods and technologies that improve the accuracy of our results, investing in digital tools that make it easy for our customers to work with us, investing in new lab facilities that increase our efficiency and effectiveness, and investing in the sharpest minds in the country to ensure we remain at the forefront of analytical testing. 30 years ago, we made a commitment to rural New Zealand. Today, that commitment is as strong as ever.
Every farming region is unique.
The land, the ways of farming,
the people. That's why we're here with you, up and down the country.
Getting things just right for each place, like here at our Huntly Service Centre.
And over here at the self-service silo.
We've got world-class manufacturing right here in New Zealand.
But we also search the world working with the best partners
to create the best products
and help you apply them in the best way to keep your farm sustainable.
We're busy supporting farmers in all sorts of ways.
All over the place.
Wherever we are, we're working towards the same goal.
Making sure New Zealand remains one of the best farming nations in the world.
Together creating the best soil and feed on earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who could just resume your seats, we'll get the proceedings underway. I feel terrible interrupting everybody because the catch-up is just wonderful. And what a beautiful entree of scallops that was. Thank you so much to the catering team here at Te Papa. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, thank you. So you'll be happy to know, not only were we early for entrees, but we're also going to be early for dinner. And so therefore a slight change in our program to those watching on the live stream. We will be going a bit earlier to dinner, but we will be back earlier as well, so that's always good. I'd like to kick off tonight by welcoming to the stage CEO for Balance Agri-Nutrients, Mark Wynne.
Good evening. I have been asked to speak very slowly and get us back on track. It's hard to believe it was just 1 year ago when our lives in New Zealand changed significantly. We entered this really weird space of lockdown. And you may recall those things called Zoom video calls. And probably the most common statement you heard on those were these two. Apologies, had trouble connecting. Or, sorry, I was on mute. Sound familiar? And in a similar way, perhaps that reflects where, as an industry, we find ourselves today. But if there was one silver lining in the COVID pandemic, it is this. Our farmers and growers, and perhaps toilet paper producers, are recognised as an essential service. It's an essential service that not just gives us 3 meals a day, but employs tens and tens of thousands of people, exports billions of dollars, and keeps our economy afloat through some very challenging times. And for too long, the excellence showcased by our world-class farmers and growers has gone unseen and unheard. And it's almost as if our industry was saying, sorry, I was on mute. And so the Balanced Farm Environment Awards is one of many ways our industry is getting our leadership story out to both the rural and the urban audience. And what amazing stories they are. Now, I know for the regional finalists, some of you will be feeling very uncomfortable at the label of industry leader. But consider this. If you anticipate change and have the courage to take action, the courage to stand up and tell your story and get off mute, then that truly is the hallmark of a leader. And when you do this, you will inspire others and they will follow. So as we hear the story tonight, there's a couple of themes I'd like you to focus on. The first is vision. The vision for a better future. It's common across every story from every regional finalist. It's not just a vision for a better future, it's actually the courage to make it happen. And when that vision is coupled together with storytelling, not only do we create a really exciting place in the mind of the rest of the people in the ag community, but even better, it infects the mind of the next generation, and we can attract the very best talent back into the agribusiness world. And the second thing you'll note tonight is a mindset of continuous improvement. Continuous improvement coupled with attention to detail. Plan, do, measure, adjust. Farms are always work in progress. They are a mosaic, if you like, of continuous improvement as we lean forward into a better future. There's a recent study by MIT in the States talking about the power of social media. And it's a fascinating note that bad news travels through social media 6 times faster than good news. 6 times faster. So you can see the size of our challenge when we have pressure groups attacking the industry. So how do we combat that negative narrative and in fact turn it on its head into a positive narrative? Well, the first one is this. It's connection. Connecting with our communities, from the kids to the protesters. Open our farms, open our factories, open our supply chains, invite them in. Let's listen to their perspective, create a dialogue, tell our story, and I think you will be amazed. And let them go back out onto social media and amplify our story. Because, sorry, I had trouble connecting does not change mindsets. And yes, there is a risk opening ourselves up, but there's a bigger risk if we don't. And if you're not brave enough or willing to do that at an individual level, consider doing it at a catchment level. A much, much bigger, safer, and amplified way of engaging our communities. The second counter-offensive we should have is around the offshore consumer. As an industry, we sell to the processors and the producers and the exporters, but we only really make money once. And that's when a consumer in a faraway land parts with their hard-earned dollar to consume your product. And the consumers view our farms as food kitchens. So how we present our kitchen determines where they will dine. And as the minister said, these consumers are inundated with choice. We are talking the ones with money. And we want them to spend their premium dollar on our New Zealand produce. And they will only do that if we have a story that they can relate to. So does that mean we don't need to change? Of course not. We do. And domestically, our communities are challenging our management processes and in particular, the impacts that they are having. So the councils and the governments are responding and setting the new future with new regulations. But the best outcome will always be achieved by working together. Working together for that new pathway to create that future in line with the vision. And the debate is seldom about the destination. It is always about the direction and the pace of the journey. So we need our ag leaders that we'll be celebrating here tonight to help connect and guide the legislators and the regulatory teams through this discussion. So finally, never forget, change is hard. What we'll see tonight is a very polished version. I had the privilege today of hearing the stories from the 10 regional winners in closed doors, no holds barred. It is a story of life. It is tough. There are victories. There are moments of crying. There's the journey through life. But along the way, they've all come out the other side. And what we'll see today is the story around an industry that is thriving. And if we can stay in front of expectations, stay in front of regulation, and continue to excite and delight our consumers, we have a very good future indeed. And when the others who are perhaps less ambitious see the pathway painted by the 10 regional winners tonight, they will follow. And perhaps then they will come out of their bad place in mental health, which is washing across the ag community today. So, on behalf of all the sponsors tonight, I want to say thank you to the regional winners for sharing their journey of change with us. Thank you for sharing your passion, your vision, and inspiring us with a very exciting and innovative future that lies in front. I hope you enjoy the process, and I hope you learnt something from the process. But more importantly, I hope you also connected with the other like-minded people from across Aotearoa. And as you leave tonight, I hope you will remain ambassadors for our industry to help shape the future we so desire. And finally, remember this: change is not a four-letter word, but often your reaction to it is.
Thank you so much, Mark, and I've always enjoyed my conversations with Mark. Balance Agri-Nutrients is certainly an organisation I strongly believe do not have their head in the sand. They've got the eyes forward, as do many of you, and I love the analogy about not connecting is no longer an excuse. I want to please take the moment to acknowledge the fact that it's Essential Workers Day, 1 year on from lockdown. Can I just give a round of applause to those in the primary sector that saw us through? But let's be more ambitious than being essential. Let's excite and delight and inspire the future generations to come through strongly as we need them in droves. I'm super excited about the heart of the evening, which is, of course, the reason you're here, the regional supreme winners from the Balanced Farm Environment Awards in 2020. Now, how this is going to happen is I'm going to ask each of the regional winners to come up here on stage and, in my element, ask them questions. And then they will be presented by a member of the industry with a jacket off to the side of the stage. So if I can ask the winners to come up to my stage left and stand at the lectern, then we can hear a little bit more about their journey. After, of course, we will have seen the video as well. So kicking off, we head to the top of the country, of course. In Northland, Jeff Martin and Helen Linson from Te Kora Farms in Kaio.
Jeff Martin and Helen Linson, Te Karoa Farms in Kaio. Jeff and Helen specialise in beef bull production, managing 3 independent blocks in Kaio, with a combined farm of 484 hectares, including 307 hectares effective. The 3 blocks have been acquired at different times over the past 19 years, and all have unique features and challenges. With steep hill sections looking over Otangaroa Valley and predominantly rolling pastures, the 3 blocks include a combined 80 hectares of native bush and 34 hectares in fenced-off rivers, wetlands, gullies and watercourses. Helen and Jeff focus on production of premium 100kg live weight bulls, buying them in late spring and selling them the following summer as R2 bulls. This provides returning live weight gains per hectare well above district averages. Animal welfare is a constant focus, and they work closely with their local vet regarding animal welfare strategies and field trials. By carrying lighter animals, there is less damage to pasture and soils by avoiding intensive winter pugging. The success of this management plan is evident in the quality of pasture grown on hard clay loam soils in the hilly areas. Jeff and Helen use grazing cell methods, which allows the stock to be moved every 2 days, ensuring long winter rotations. To achieve this, GPS mapping technology was used to divide the properties into grazing cells based on pasture, soil, topography and access to water. Helen and Jeff's most recent project is the Foster's Block, purchased in 2016 with poor fencing and no water systems. They have since invested heavily, building a 5.5 million litre dam, installing 15 kilometres of water line with nearly 80 troughs, building 20 kilometres of fencing and installing a solar-powered pump. Jeff and Helen showed exceptional foresight when it came to planning the block's water reticulation system. GPS mapping was again used, and in the process, all the waterways, wetlands and non-productive areas identified as critical source areas for contaminant loss were retired. As well as being actively involved in industry initiatives in the wider community, Jeff and Helen are very generous with their time and knowledge, supporting staff member Matthew on the farm and mentoring a neighbouring couple through the Extension 350 program. Judges' comments. An inspiring commitment to a whole farm system carefully designed around financially and environmentally sustainable production. Climate resilience and adaptation is built into the business. Impressive buffers around riparian and critical water source areas, along with biodiversity protection and enhancement. Helen and Jeff show an exemplary commitment to their farming business, community, staff, and wider industry.
Congratulations to you both. Now, the judges were impressed with your water management and the investment that you've made. How has this helped manage soil and nutrients within your farming operation?
Thank you, Sarah. And don't we scrub up well first? Once again, the Northlanders are breaking the ice. We invested obviously in a 5.5 million litre lake, which we found would prevent, rather than using, I'm quite nervous. Rather than using the Wainui stream to pump water, we pump up using a solar pump up to 2 tanks, which then gravity feed to every cell, summer and winter. And Jeff's going to finish the second part of this because I've really messed it up.
So we invested heavily in the riparian fencing, as you can see, and we didn't, slope was never a consideration. We always fenced to the very top of the gullies. A lot of the waterways we fenced off were only wet for a very small time of the year, but they still worked as buffer strips for any runoff that came off the land. They also areas with stock exclusion and any nutrient wasn't spread in there. So that we concentrated on the remaining areas of the land. Now those remaining areas were split into rotations of 15 rotations each, and they were designed very carefully with the help of Ag Design from Palmerston North, so that to allow that all of the grazing went round in a pattern that we always had longer feed below the cattle. So we grazed down the hill, making sure if we had a heavy weather water event, that any runoff was captured on the farm and didn't get down into the buffer zones and then into the rivers. The return as they came back up the land was carefully designed, so they came up in a zigzag pattern and then back onto the hills. So at no point did they have any runoff allowed over wet or heavily pugged or bare soils.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Jeff and Helen. Well done. Now the jacket is presented by Chair of Beef and Lamb, Andrew Morrison, and then if I can ask each of the regional winners to then proceed to the back of the room to get a lovely photo as well. Now, heading further south, Matthew and Sarah Bolton from Oti Goat Farm in Pātumahu in Franklin.
Sarah Bolton, Owete Goat Farm. In a short period of time, the Boltons have established an exemplar goat farming operation that combines profitability with a broadly sustainable approach. The transformation of the Auckland property has been guided by a dual focus on producing high-quality products while reducing the farm's environmental impact. The Boltons saw the Balanced Farm Environment Awards as a good opportunity to showcase their commitment to creating a sustainable and financially viable business. They were also keen for guidance on how to improve the business further. A farm manager and 9 full-time staff are seen as critical to the success of this intensive goat farming operation that was established 6 years ago, and this is reflected by a strong focus on staff well-being. Pasture is cut and carried daily to feed 2,500 milking goats that are housed indoors, and the judges were impressed with the high standard of animal health. Sustainability and innovation are at the core of this business, with the Boltons embracing challenges and continually reassessing systems as they strive to improve farming practices. Accurate measuring systems are used to help them maintain a low environmental footprint, for example, in relation to effluent application and water use. The judges praised Owete as a benchmark of intensive goat farming, with excellent sustainability across all areas. Enhancing biodiversity is another focus, and significant riparian planting has been carried out, including around a wetland. There is an active pest management plan in place, while shelter belts protect against soil and wind erosion. Numerous gullies have been retired and planted, and both soil structure and legume performance are closely monitored. Recycling and energy efficiency are priorities. For example, the property uses solar panels to generate power. The Boltons see their sustainable and eco-friendly farming approach as a way to safeguard the land for both themselves and future generations. Judges' comments. In a short period of time, the Boltons have developed an exemplar farming business. Owete combines profitability with extremely high standards for staff, animal welfare, the environment, community involvement and production. The overarching approach to sustainability is excellent. This pristine property is a benchmark of intensive goat farming.
My apologies. Let's go back there. How exciting to be able to see your achievements in that short video. It must be very, very overwhelming. Congratulations. The judges were impressed by the passion that you have for your product. What is the one thing that gives you the greatest satisfaction about the food that you produce?
Okay, thank you. So I guess that having the passion of our product is a high nutrition, high quality product that we produce that is used a lot for people that can't have mainstream sort of milks, and it's used all the way through from babies right the way through to adults as well that can't tolerate cow milk or soy or almond. I think with that too, the passion of that feedback that we get is really important to us, and that builds a lot of sort of energy as well. The passion about just creating a more environmentally friendly milk as well is very important to us, and I think we've hit our goals doing that, so our goals are really important to us. And also passion builds energy, and I think when you've got passion for whatever business you're in, if you've got the passion, then that creates the energy. If you've all got the energy, it flows through the whole system, through the whole business.
Yeah, I think Matt said it beautifully. I think it's the satisfaction also is creating a product by using farming practices that are environmentally friendly. Our goal always has been for our business is for the growth and development, in particular focusing on the areas such as the environment, social and financial sustainability, and not only for our children but also for future generations, for them to enjoy in years to come. So. But I think it's the immense nutritional value that comes from that product as well, which does cater for a lot of health benefits.
And our amazing staff, they have the energy and the passion that we hold, and we are very thankful to them.
Yeah, very great.
Good work. Beautifully spoken. Thank you so much, Matthew and Sarah Bolton. And they will be presented their jacket from Chris Anderson, the Professor of Environmental Science and Director at the Farmed Landscape Research Centre of Massey University. Congratulations, incredible. Now moving further south, Mark and Felicity Bro from Pairua in Aria in the... whereabouts are they? My apologies. Near Waitomo, farming sheep and beef.
Mark and Felicity Bro, Pairua. Native birds have returned and water quality has improved since the Bros took over Pairua about 20 years ago, reflecting their respective land, animals, soil and water. Land use is carefully matched to land capability and the couple is embracing upcoming regulatory changes. Mark and Felicity entered the Balance Farm Environment Awards to demonstrate that it's not hard to be an environmental farmer and how enjoyable the end product is. The Waitomo sheep and beef breeding and store fattening farm runs about 170 weaner bulls and steer calves and 2,150 sheep. The judges praised the Bros for skillfully matching land use to land capability. They were also impressed with grazing management that maintains pasture cover and minimises the risk to soils. Native birds, fish and invertebrates are flourishing on the property thanks to extensive planting around streams and ponds and significant fencing of wetlands and drains. The judges commended an innovative biodiversity map that indicates where significant species live. 2 large dams with wetland areas have been created and the couple is planning to fence off significant blocks of mature native bush. Poplar poles control erosion, almost all paddocks have water troughs and beehives encourage clover growth. The judges were impressed with how the Bros are approaching upcoming regulatory changes such as freshwater standards, embracing them as a positive step for both themselves and the farm. Mark and Felicity have strong off-farm connections, both locally and nationally, and are keen to help other farmers learn from their successes as well as their failures. As they strive to be successful and profitable environmental farmers, the Bros are very focused on preserving the precious resources that make farming possible, soil and water. Their focus on water was noted by the judges who said a stream cutting through the property runs clear, even after rainfall. Judges' comments. An innovative biodiversity map indicates where significant species live. Mark and Felicity are heavily involved in their community, both locally and nationally. Land use is carefully matched to land capability on the property. Pairua is a credit to the hard work of this couple.
Congratulations, Mark and Felicity. The judges were impressed with your continued passion for improving native biodiversity. What is the most rewarding thing about the efforts that you've made so far?
So, ngā mihi Sarah, ko kia ora koutou. We're very passionate about the environment and biodiversity in particular. We believe that biodiversity is the biggest visual measurement of how healthy the environment is. We've got a lot of enjoyment from watching it grow as we've nurtured it, and as 25% of New Zealand's biodiversity is still on private land, we believe it's important that we foster that and look after it.
Kia ora. Like Mark, seeing the increasing bird life on the farm, seeing the birds come back, having bird corridors are a great visual measurement that we get to enjoy and we think is really important. It's also been about the learning that we've enjoyed with biodiversity work that we've done. So DNA testing of water so we understand what the biodiversity of the stuff that we can't see, which we also think is really important, provides you with a benchmark, and so that then you can keep measuring in the future, because the unseen is just as important as what you can see. And doing a biodiversity map has just been a way of, again, learning and systematising what we're doing. So it's about learning and growing.
There's There's one other thing about doing a biodiversity map. If you find something on your farm that somebody else hasn't got or is at risk, you can get some really good funding.
Congratulations to Mark and Felicity, who are presented with their jacket from Duncan Cool, who is the chair of Balance Agri-Nutrients. Now we are actually going to shorten up our presentations this side of dinner because the chef was very keen to ensure that you were fed. So before we go to the break, we'll just explain it as an alternative drop as well, and we will be back approximately about 20 to 9, especially to those watching on our live stream. So enjoy the beautiful beef and lamb.
Beef and Lamb New Zealand is working here, helping farmers make informed business decisions to be more productive and profitable, listening to farmers, providing the right tools at the right time, trusted independent information, having farmers' backs with the big issues they can't tackle alone, like the environment, gaining access to markets and overcoming barriers to trade, working for family and communities, and building relationships to deliver. We are by farmers, for farmers. We are Beef and Lamb New Zealand.
Since 1948, Norwood has partnered with farmers, providing them with machinery, advice and technical support to work the land. And we're proud to embrace guardianship too, over the land, our communities and what we leave for future generations. And we're supporting a more sustainable, diverse and prosperous future for New Zealand, Aotearoa.
Massey University works with our industry partners to find innovative and sustainable solutions through research and development. Our graduates provide New Zealand and the world with the latest knowledge and expertise across the food value chain. From smart production systems to food product development, and from market research to developing international trade. New Zealanders are renowned for their innovation and finding solutions. Massey is proud to be a part of the Balance Farm Environment Awards, recognising Kiwi ingenuity and celebrating sustainable land management.
global freshwater demand will increase 55% by 2050, and 70% of all freshwater is used in agriculture. Water is a finite resource, so optimising its usage is essential. We believe efficient, sustainable and reliable water technology is vital to the future of farming practices. We are the partners for sustainable success. Waterforce. Wise with water.
The New Zealand dairy industry exports to more than 150 countries, feeding over 100 million people. We are world leaders in emissions efficiency. The rotary dairy shed was invented here. Dairying contributes over $14 billion to the New Zealand economy each year. New Zealand dairy farmers have invested in their own organisation to pool skills required to help them succeed at home and on the world stage. Through discovering new ways to farm more efficiently, reducing our footprint, improving animal care, sharing knowledge, working with local and central government, creating quality work environments, educating children, so they can provide for their families, support their communities, care for their animals, and leave their land in a better state than they found it. Dairy NZ, working for New Zealand dairy farmers.
Down here, we are doing milk differently. We bring out the best in nature and unlock its potential through new thinking and new technologies. Our mission is to be a catalyst for change, to make sustainability not a catchphrase, but the core of all we do. Because if we can do it, others will follow. And that will change our industry, benefit our country, and leave a legacy for future generations. It's a hard road to do things differently, to try things that haven't been done, to risk, to challenge. It's a pioneering mindset to stand for more and play a bigger role in New Zealand. Here's to the journey ahead. Here's to reimagining what we do and how we do it. Here's to harnessing the spirit this company was founded on and moving towards a future that we're yet to imagine. Here's to doing it with attitude.
Property. It's one of the most fiercely competitive markets in New Zealand. And that's why we at Bayleys continue to work to rise above the competition. We pride ourselves on being better, on doing our best to build on our hard-earned reputation every day. Since 1999, we've had a dedicated team of country experts whose skills and know-how have made us leaders in the field. We represent every sector of the rural landscape, from large-scale farms, stations, forestry, vineyards and specialty rural properties to lifestyle blocks and homes in the country. And we treat every single one with our legendary professionalism and integrity, whatever the scale. No one knows this market quite like us. We go above and beyond, time after time, day after day, year after year, to achieve the best possible results for our clients. That's why we're the nation's #1 rural real estate brand. Bayleys Country. We're altogether better.
To the rest of the world, New Zealand is envied for its spectacular landscapes, recognised for its agricultural expertise, and admired for its innovation. We're also known for being good sorts, and for over 30 years we've played a key role in that story, with a commitment to provide independent, expert, analytical testing for the agricultural sector. We've achieved this by investing hugely in new methods and technologies that improve the accuracy of our results, investing in digital tools that make it easy for our customers to work with us, investing in new lab facilities that increase our efficiency and effectiveness, and investing in the sharpest minds in the country to ensure we remain at the forefront of analytical testing. 30 years ago, we made a commitment to rural New Zealand. Today, that commitment is as strong as ever.
Every farming region is unique.
The land, the ways of farming, the people. That's why we're here with you, up and down the country.
Getting things just right for each place, like here at our Huntly Service Centre.
And over here at the self-service silo.
We've got world-class manufacturing right here in New Zealand.
But we also search the world, working with the best partners
to create the best products
and help you apply them in the best way to keep your farm sustainable.
We're busy supporting farmers in all sorts of ways.
All over the place.
Wherever we are, we're working towards the same goal.
Making sure New Zealand remains one of the best farming nations in the world.
Together creating the best soil and feed on earth.
Beef and Lamb New Zealand.
I can kindly ask you to return to your seats for the rest of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can please have your attention to continue on this evening. Thank you so much. Now, because we were running a little bit early with dinner, we do have 7 further regional winners' stories to continue through, so I thought I would do my best to ensure that we stay on track. How absolutely beautiful was that beef and lamb? Can I have a round of applause, please, to the Te Papa Catering? It was gorgeous. And incredible service as well. Thank you so, so much. Now, it's very exciting as we continue on our stories. We're going to head to Central Hawke's Bay now, and can I ask Evan and Linda Potter from Waipapa and Alsthorpe to come up to the stage?
Evan and Linda Potter, Waipapa. Evan and Linda Potter have been farming Central Hawke's Bay Hill Country property, Waipapa, since 1998. They've added to the original 580 hectares, 80 in 2015 and another 80 in 2018 to give them a total of 740. It's 600 effective hectares, plus a 125 hectare QE2 National Trust Covenant block and 20 hectares of pine trees, ranging in age from 7 to 20 years. The property ranges in height from 130 to 360 metres above sea level, with the higher reaches of the farm giving great views across the Alsthorpe district. There is a focus on biodiversity and trees. As well as the regenerating QE2 block, there is an annual pole planting program for shade and erosion control, annual planting of natives, regular possum, cat and deer control, and wetland and riparian planting. A soil conservation plan was done in Evan and Linda's first year on the farm, followed by farm-based soil mapping in 2005 and a farm environment management plan through Beef and Lamb New Zealand in 2018. The current production system is designed around a dry summer and a wet winter. 1,500 Romney ewes are put to a terminal ram with all progeny sold. 300 old ewes lamb in July, with progeny killed at 19 to 20 kilograms late October. The main mob and two tooths lamb August 1st with 700 to 800 killed or stored late November, and the balance taken through to winter and killed at more than 24 kilograms. The cattle side of the business is all trading and is a mixture of cows, bulls and steers. 240 4-day-old bull calves are hand-reared annually. The deer side includes a self-replacing velveting herd producing 1.2 tonnes of velvet annually, as well as 10 tonnes of venison. 2/3 of the farm is under a reticulated water system pumped from the Hawea stream and supplemented by an extensive dam system. Socially, the Potters have great involvement with community, school, sport and industry. They say Waipapa is an awesome environment to live, work and raise a family. Judges' comments. Biodiversity and trees are a clear focus on the farm. Highlight of the farm is the extensive and impressive native regeneration through the main gully, including the 125 hectare QE2 National Trust block. Awareness of regulatory requirements, early adopters of their farm environment management plan through the Beef and Lamb New Zealand workshop process, A holistic view and flexibility in livestock policy to match the vagaries of the summer dry, winter wet climate. Strong partnership with the local Hawke's Bay Regional Council team. Use of that interaction as an opportunity to show council staff what they're trying to achieve.
Congratulations, Evan and Linda. 125 hectares of QE2 Trust. What an incredible sequestration sponge of native trees. Congratulations on all of your achievements. The judges were impressed with your commitment to improving and having a diverse operation, sheep, beef and deer. How does your farm environment plan help you manage profitability as well?
So as food producers operating in the Tukitook catchment in the beautiful CHB, we've been operating with FEMP for the past 3 years officially and probably since 1999 unofficially. This is created in conjunction with a certified consultant and renewed every 3 years under the HBRC regulations. Initially, the FEMP is a formal stocktake of our soils, water and nutrient resources. It enables you to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of your production system from a nutrient perspective and identifies the varying productive values of your different land classes. With this information, you're better placed to formulate a sustainable production system that maximises the benefits of your inputs and property's physical attributes while minimising your environmental footprint. It can identify areas for improvement, possible changes in land use or tweaks to your system. The creation of an FMP is an added and ongoing cost, yet the manner in which it lays out a plan for land management and the use of good management practices ultimately adds value at many levels. Mapping out a farm-wide plan for the ensuing 3 years makes the document a valuable reference point against which progress can be measured and financial budgets can be integrated into. FEMPs need to be fluid and nimble documents, as like financial budgets, market conditions or extreme events ultimately determine the speed at which the wider plan can be implemented. We would consider, for any modern business-minded food producer, an FEMP would be valued equally as important as the budget, business plan or health and safety plan, and this would be used as a valuable tool when formulating business decisions and will ultimately add value.
Congratulations, thank you so much. Evan and Linda Potter from Waipapa. And presenting them with their jacket is Andrew Smith from Bailey's in the Wairarapa. Thank you so much to Bailey's for their support tonight. Heading over to the Taranaki, we have a wonderful family. I'm not sure, are they all going to come up to the stage? You are more than welcome to. We would absolutely love Robert and Jane, Nick and Sophie, Will and Kate, and Sam Brown from Etham and Stratford in South Taranaki.
The Browns: Robert, Jane, Nick, Sophie, Will, Kate and Sam. Rukumoana Farms. This cohesive family unit is successfully driving the 3 properties that make up Rukumoana Farms. The property has significantly grown in size during the 34 years that Robert and Jane have been involved, and planning is now well underway to ensure a smooth succession to their family. The positive stance of the Balanced Farm Environment Awards attracted the family to enter, along with it being a chance to acknowledge the hard work that has gone into the farms by both past and present generations. The sheep and beef farm aims to fatten 450 cattle each year, while also hosting about 150 dairy grazers. The property runs almost 6,500 sheep, fattening all terminal lambs. Over the past 20 years, the family has developed a Wairiri ewe flock, which now has facial eczema tolerance bred into it. The family wants to leave a positive legacy, striving hard to produce quality stock while improving the farm's environmental footprint. The judges praised the farm's excellent infrastructure, along with the Browns' willingness to try new things in innovative ways. To help offset greenhouse gas emissions, 32 hectares of trees were planted under the Afforestation Grant Scheme in 2011, plus 12 hectares of bush retired. 3 wetland areas have been fenced off and numerous native plants put in, while poplar poles are used for erosion control and shade, and predators are actively managed. A direct drill is used to plant fattening crops, a no-tillage approach that helps conserve the soil. Fertiliser is applied for maintenance only, and the family makes good use of an on-farm spring, using it for both homes and animals. A solar pump system is used to move water through a gravity-fed trough system. The judges were impressed with the Browns' formal succession plan, as well as their involvement in both the community and wider industry. Judges' comments. A cohesive family unit that is running 3 properties very well. There is a willingness to try new things in innovative ways. The farms have good infrastructure, making them easy to manage. The family's involvement with the Halo project supports their commitment to biodiversity.
Unbelievable. Congratulations. And of course, the judges were impressed, and I can speak on behalf of everyone in this room with your incredible attention to succession planning that's evident here tonight. So I suppose what I would like to ask, if you may, how do you manage to successfully navigate different views whilst running the property?
Thank you, Sarah. Well, it's a privilege to have 3 sons, children, that are actually keen on farming. The way we have been working on navigating a pathway to farm succession. Jane and I have an intensive workshop, with several succession advisors. We identified that our strengths and weaknesses, assets and goals. We set a time frame to plan and meet goals. The family all met individually with our professional advisor to discuss goals and aspirations for the future. We followed up with several coaching sessions, reviewing goals and time frames. We have been flexible and let our family take ownership of their decisions on the farm. We are good listeners, I think. Jane and I are confident in their abilities and are looking forward to the transition towards succession over the next few years. Jane, would you like to add to that?
So part of our environment, of course, is our family, and we've grown up with the kids along the way, learnt a lot, and we just sort of wanted our kids to be exposed to our environment that we live in, and we feel it's very special, what they've been through with us. They've worked alongside us, and they've learnt a lot through it, and I think that passions maybe come from that, from being involved with the business and just being there in the day-to-day life. And we've relied on them actually quite a bit too over the years. They've supported us immensely. So, we're really thrilled to be at this stage. And it's something maybe we should have started thinking about it day one when they were born, but certainly it's never too late. So, everyone should be considering it, what they're going to do. But also quickly like to just take an opportunity to say thank you to the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust for bringing all our family to Wellington. It's been a fabulous opportunity to network with other regional winners. So, thank you very much for your generosity.
Thank you very much.
What a true inspiration, the Clark family from Roko Moana Farms there in the South Taranaki. It's fantastic. Congratulations. And Blake Holgate, the Head of Sustainable Business Development from Rabobank. That doesn't look like Blake. Hang on, sorry, my apologies. Jonah Smith, the Regional Manager for Norwood, presenting the jacket there. Blake will be with us next. We're heading now to vegetable country in the Horowhenua, in the Horizons region. The Clark family, John, Emma and Jay. Woodhaven Gardens, a commercial veggie production outside of Levin.
Clark family of Woodhaven Gardens. Growing 23 different vegetables, this family-run commercial growing operation is unique for its size and range of crops. It takes a collaborative, science-led approach to farming that balances conservation with commercial success and has significantly reduced its environmental impact in recent years. Woodhaven Gardens entered the Balanced Farm Environment Awards to show other growers how working with partners has helped them on their journey to environmental sustainability. The property was originally established in 1978 as a lifestyle choice for Eric Clark and his son John. However, a passion was soon ignited to produce the best possible produce. In addition to now growing 23 different types of vegetable, Woodhaven grows maize and ryegrass to improve soil health and reduce nutrient losses. It annually sells 27 million individual vegetable units, which is between 7 and 10% of the national supply. It employs about 250 staff and contributes between $30 and $35 million to the country's annual GDP. In recent years, Woodhaven Gardens has invested significantly in understanding and improving its environmental impacts and benefits. It has partnered with other businesses and Massey University to assist in this process, plus has connected with numerous community environmental groups and growers. This has led to a science-led approach in partnership with community stakeholders, an approach that has been shared with Horticulture New Zealand and is being rolled out to other growers in the region. The judges praised Woodhaven Gardens for integrating new technology into their business that has helped them reduce nutrient output. The owners and directors view the farm holistically, meaning they farm not just for themselves, but also to enrich the lives of their staff, community, local iwi and environment. The development of the property is driven by this purpose, and the judges were impressed with how Woodhaven proactively engages with its community. Judges' comments. Woodhaven Gardens has invested in relationships to help improve their understanding of environmental impacts. The Clarks are making changes to their business to improve water quality. New technology is being integrated to lower nutrient output. Their proactive approach to collaborating with the community is impressive.
Congratulations, Jay and John. Sadly, Emma's not with us this evening, for the Clark family and the incredible contribution you make to not only your local community and economy, but ours in New Zealand as well, feeding us there. What a beautiful property and a gorgeous looking soil as well. So the judges were, of course, committed with your commitment to soil and water quality. How does that help the testing help you run a sustainable business?
Yeah, well, in our game, soil is our lifeblood, and if we don't understand what's happening in the soil, we can't make good decisions for our crop and for the environment. So having new technology come on board, like quick end testing, which is a test that we can do right on farm then and there to understand how much nitrogen is in our root zone. It enables us to make decisions to put the right product in the right place at the right time at the right rate. That means that we can sustain a great yield, but also monitor and manage our environmental impact that we're having.
Fantastic. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Wonderful. Jay and John Clark from Woodhaven Gardens. Presented by the one and only Blake Holgate, Head of Sustainable Business Development from Rabobank. Getting close to where we are now in the Greater Wellington region, Aidan Bicken, Neville Fisher and Vern Brassel, who are from Kaiwaiwai Dairies in Featherston in the South Wairarapa.
Aidan Bicken, Neville Fisher, Vern Brassel, Kaiwaiwai Dairies. Demonstrating good environmental stewardship is a key focus for the team at Kaiwaiwai Dairies, a dairy farm operated as an equity partnership with 6 shareholders. Located in South Wairarapa, Kaiwaiwai is almost completely self-contained. a policy that provides biosecurity assurance and reduces risk around feed supplies. Kaiwaiwai was entered into the Balanced Farm Environment Awards because the team is keen to champion farming and to connect with others in the farming sector, government and urban centres. Running 900 dairy cows and 20 beef, the property was commended for its efficient water usage that is well below the industry average. This is partially due to a comprehensive irrigation system and the close monitoring of farm water via flow meters and web-based reporting. They are almost at their target of using less than half the industry standard, which is 70 litres of clean water per dairy cow per day, with further reductions planned. A wetland development project included planting natives along banks and regenerating a kahikatea stand, plus the farm is testing fish passages and flow controls. The team actively plants native trees, has a pest management plan and has significantly cut greenhouse gas emissions. They are also successfully striving to improve energy efficiency, reduce stock drug use, improve the quality of water leaving the farm and strictly manage dairy effluent. The judges said Kaiwaiwai is an excellent example of how sustainability can be managed in all areas of the operation, from financial, environmental and social responsibility to great staff management practices. Kaiwaiwai Dairies is proud to be part of the dairy industry, and the judges commented that the enthusiastic team members are fantastic ambassadors for the industry and climate change. They play a recognised leadership role in environmental stewardship, climate change discussions, employment practices and promotion of the positive aspects of food production. Judges' comments. An excellent example of how sustainability can be managed in all areas of the operation. Efficient water usage that is well below the industry average. A significant reduction of urea N while still maintaining production. Commendable irrigation and effluent systems, along with use of technology.
And isn't it like every farm in New Zealand unique? So is the ownership and governance. And the three gentlemen here, Aidan, Neville and Vern, at their property there at Kaiwaiwai, congratulations on all you've achieved. It's extremely impressive. The judges noted your commitment to keeping informed about climate change issues. Are the new climate regulations a challenge or opportunity?
Well, I think they are both a challenge and an opportunity, but I think it's a challenge for all New Zealand to actually understand their footprint and see what they can do about it now. But for agriculture, we've got methane and nitrous oxide is our big issue, and it really will be shaped by how He Waka Ika Noa comes out in the future, to how we will adjust to what the new regulations are. And hopefully that'll be clearer by the end of this year, I think. But we have been measuring the emissions on our farm now for about 5 or 6 years, and we've made some progress, but until you understand how the rules are really going to affect it, I don't think you should make too big a long-term decisions. But the opportunities, I think, will still be there as well, because if the whole country can actually get onto this, we will then be able to maintain our markets and hopefully get a premium for that. And then we will turn the challenge into an opportunity, which is what we're trying to do to understand it.
Thank you so much. Fantastic words in front of some fantastic ministers that are listening as well. Congratulations on everything that you have achieved and will continue to achieve, no doubt, as well. Now heading down to Canterbury. Tony Coltman and Dana Carver from Canlick Holdings, and welcome to the stage.
Dana Carver of Canlack Holdings. Canlack Holdings was a high-performing farm when this couple took over in 2013, and their focus on good management practice means that they have lifted it to another level. At the same time, there has been an impressive reduction in both the farm's environmental footprint and nitrogen leaching. Tony and his wife Dana entered the Balanced Farm Environment Awards to profile their sustainable business and demonstrate how farmers care for their environment. Operating under an equity partnership, Canlack Holdings is 2 farms being run as one business. Canlack Dairy has 1,000 cows, while Quantum Dairy down the road runs 1,150 cows. Overseeing 10 employees, Tony is determined to show it's possible to look after the environment while being profitable, and the results speak for themselves. The farm is bringing in high profits while cutting nitrogen leaching by 48%. The judges were impressed with the production and profitability, along with the significant drop in nutrient losses that are beyond regulatory limits. Stock health is a priority at Canlack, along with a strong focus on maximising the high genetic herd through strategic breeding and the retention of first calvers. The judges commended Canlack's strong business acumen and the large amount of recording and monitoring. Tony and Dana are keen to leave the farm in top condition for future generations and have planted plenty of shelter over the past 2 years, with plans to put in more plus native plants. They have significantly increased the effluent area, while the efficiency of the sophisticated irrigation system is continually being improved, and they're striving to maintain soil fertility. The couple has clear goals for both themselves and the health and well-being of staff, plus are heavily involved in off-farm activities. The judges praised Tony's involvement with the wider industry and Dana's interest in social well-being. Judges' comments. Production and profitability are very high on this well-prepared and presented property. The significant reductions in nutrient losses are beyond regulatory limits. There's a strong investment in people, on and off farm. Canlack has strong business acumen with a large amount of recording and monitoring.
Congratulations to you both and an incredible achievement of halving your nutrient losses. Of course, in Canterbury, there's members of Environment Canterbury here leading the way in nutrient losses. What would be your messages to farming in other parts of the country from your learnings?
Thanks, Sarah. I think first, before we gave advice, it would be just to share with everyone that it's possible. You can do this by making some changes to your system. You can reduce your nitrogen leaching and maintain your profit. And this is happening across the country in different sectors. And just have confidence that you can do it.
I think if any advice I'd do is, first of all, know your numbers. Get familiar with, with overseer and understand your business in that respect. Then investigate into what tools that you have in your toolbox to make the changes, and there's a lot out there, and there's plenty of those around. The other thing is talk to fellow farmers. There's lots of farmers. I mean, we're achieving some good results, but there's plenty of other farmers in Canterbury that are doing the same thing and around the country, and it's been great this week to actually meet people, and it's very, very inspiring to connect with those people. So just get out and talk around that. The other thing would be around just do it in incremental changes, just small bits at a time, and that's what we've done, is just done it little bits at a time to achieve our results over a period of time. And the lastly I'd say, though, you need to start acting now. Don't think you can sit there and wait and think that you can make a dramatic change at the end. You need to start making that change now, because the platform's burning, and that's what our customers and across the world and here in New Zealand are wanting us to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dana and Tony, farming near Dunsandel. And can I acknowledge my apologies to Tracy Brown, who presented the jacket there before. I didn't acknowledge Director of Dairy NZ, and presenting now from Ministry for Primary Industries, Shane Galuli, the Director of Investment, Skills and Performance. We continue further down the country to Otago. Anna and Ben Gillespie, 2 farmers farming in Omaka, beef and dairy grazing.
Ben Gillespie, Two Farmers Farming. Taking a strategic approach that plays to their strengths is paying off for this Omakau couple as they diversify and grow their beef and dairy grazing business. Highly conscious of the farm's environmental impact, they're anticipating future regulatory changes by taking action now. The Gillespies felt ready to re-enter the Balanced Farm Environment Awards after fulfilling most of the recommendations they received the first time round. They're keen to see how they've progressed and to identify new areas for improvement. Over the past 2 years, Anna and Ben have diversified into beef finishing to complement the original dairy grazing business on the 360 hectare effective farm. They now run 700 dairy calves and 700 yearling dairy heifers, plus finish about 500 beef cattle through winter and spring. Their team approach plays to their individual strengths, and the result is a highly productive business that looks to the future while still achieving a work-life balance with family at its core. The judges were impressed with Ben and Anna's awareness of the farm's environmental effects and how they are anticipating future regulatory changes. They said irrigation management was a standout feature, with it including a variable rate application and use of a wetland filter system. There is a strong focus on improving the environment, including the establishment of 2 new wetlands and the fencing of riparian margins. Riparian planting will start soon, using native plants grown in the newly established on-site nursery, and there is a long-term shelter belt planting plan, with 4,500 shelter trees planted over the past 2 years. In response to the threat of Mycoplasma bovis, the farm's stocking policy and layout has been changed, part of a comprehensive business plan. The judges commended the Gillespies for matching their farm system to the business's growth curve. Judges' comments. The Gillespies are aware of environmental impacts and are taking action now. Irrigation management is a standout feature. The farm system matches the growth curve with excellent grazing management and attention to animal health. Anna and Ben are committed to serving local organisations and supporting a vibrant rural community.
And irrigation management is certainly right. It is the one farm out of the lot I've personally visited this year, taking home one of the finalists in the Sustainable Irrigation Awards. An incredible property, I must say. Now, the judges noted your astute business planning. How do you see your business changing over the next 5 to 10 years and plan for that?
Thanks, Sarah. Our aim is to farm beyond by building resilience both in our business and our relationship, beyond the challenges that keep coming for our industries. This will allow us to stay both ahead of central and local government regulations, being resilient enough to move with these sometimes challenging and demanding changes, will allow us to see opportunities within and to continue a thriving business and farm environment. We would like to see our business increase in scale while remaining true to the Two Farmers Farming. So that is, there is 2 of us. We are born, bred, educated farmers, and farming is our passion. The recent implementation of a governance board with key advisors involved will help us to continue to move forward with this.
Kia ora. We have a strong scientific and technology ethos and would like to see more technology being implemented on farm with more robust science informing the decisions that we make. Improvements in understanding of the environmental impacts of different farm systems will increase the opportunity to fine-tune our system to fit within our unique environment. We look forward to seeing an increased presence of biodiversity on our farm, from plants, aquatic species to bird life. There is much to be gained. We have a strong belief in kaitiakitanga, guardianship of our environment. As with most New Zealand farming families, the next generation is a strong driver for our success. If they are keen to see that 6th generation embrace our passion for agriculture and the environment, would be our true measure of success. And achieving this is to farm beyond.
Incredible words. Thank you so much, Anna and Ben. And the jacket presented tonight by Ron McFedred, from the Managing Director of Waterforce. Now to the very deep south, where we head to Riverton. Geordie and Francis Eade.
Geordie and Francis Eade, Granity Downs. Big picture thinking that balances business risk with sustainability is guiding the development of this Riverton sheep and beef breeding and finishing farm. The result is sustainable productivity achieved with a highly organised operation that puts family life first at this well cared for property. Geordie and Francis entered the Balanced Farm Environment Awards after being encouraged by industry representatives and leaders and through their involvement with the Polder Kino Catchment Group. Granity Downs was purchased by Geordie's parents Tom and Betty in 2001. Geordie and Francis started leasing it from them in 2008 before buying the farm in 2011. The couple now runs 2,700 sheep and 82 beef and, with the help of Tom, have developed the farm into a reliable, high-producing unit that has good infrastructure and a beautiful outlook. The judges were impressed with the couple's big picture approach that balances sustainability with productivity and their open-minded approach as development continues. The natural beauty of Granity Downs is being carefully nurtured, including the protection of large blocks of native vegetation. There is about 29 hectares of native bush on the property, most of which is fenced, while there are plenty of well-developed shelter belts. A reticulated scheme supplies water to troughs in every paddock, and animal pests are carefully managed. 2 hectares of forestry was harvested in 2017, and half of that has since been replanted. There is a strong focus on stock and plant health at this high-output farm, and these are supported by a farm focus plan and a farm environment plan. Between 8 and 10 soil tests are carried out every year, guiding the careful application of fertiliser. The judges commended the Eades for excellent systems, stockmanship and management, saying their organised operation and supporting mechanisms allow family life to be a priority. Judges' comments. The Eades are big picture thinkers who balance business risk with sustainability. They are actively engaged with the local community and catchment group. Their approach of sustainable productivity means they are farming for the next generation. A highly organised operation and supporting mechanisms allow family life to be a priority.
Congratulations, Geordie and Francis. Now, they touched on your contribution to your local catchment group. What's the personal benefits that you have gained from being a part of such a group?
Okay, well, thank you, Sarah. And I'd just like to start by saying that I can still remember clearly being at home with a newborn baby and 2 young children when the phone rang asking Geordie if he could come to a meeting to help set up a local catchment group. I thought to myself, is this important? Don't we have enough on our plate with our young family and a farm? But Geordie went to that first meeting 7 years ago, and it's been a real pleasure for me to watch from the sideline and see the group grow and develop. I can see now just how important that group is and the benefits it has had for ourselves, our farming operation and our community. They are such a great, passionate group with so much knowledge and willingness to learn. And a personal benefit to myself is that I've learnt and are still learning from Geordie coming home and sharing his knowledge, and it is great to be able to share that with our children.
Kia ora, everybody. Satisfaction from sharing ideas within the group has been huge for me. From seeing them become a success of other farmers being able to employ them on their properties. At the same time, we've been able to host the field days. We were one of the first farms in New Zealand to host Mitigator, or Balance is introduced, so I couldn't speak highly enough because it put a nutrient budget in a picture. Also, the education that it's taught us and also our children. For example, during the next school holidays, we're hosting a stream walk where our kids will come along and we'll be able to see what are in our streams and our catchment. But most of all, to me,
the most positive thing from our catchment group is our great neighbour and community relationships it created. And a good example is we've got our next door neighbours here tonight supporting us. So you can't ask for more than that. Thank you.
Congratulations, Geordie and Francis Eade, farming near Riverton, and the jacket presented to them by Dr. John O'Hill, the CEO of Hills Laboratory. Fantastic. And of course, being a part of the alumni when you are a regional winner is something that I know so many cherish. There is a lot of past winners here, including the 2019 recipient of the Gordon Stevenson Trophy. That is the trophy that will be awarded tonight. But what I have taken from my involvement with the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust and has been on display here tonight is that each and every single regional winner is a winner in their own right, and they are an ambassador in their own communities and nationally just as much. So the 2019 recipients, Adrian and Pauline Bull, will be with us after our short dessert break, and then we also will hear some juicy details from the boys' trip as well. We'll be back very shortly after dessert.
Beef and Lamb New Zealand is working here, helping farmers make informed business decisions to be more productive and profitable, listening to farmers, providing the right tools at the right time, trusted independent information, having farmers' backs with the big issues they can't tackle alone, like the environment, gaining access to markets and overcoming barriers to trade, working for family and communities, and building relationships to deliver. We are by farmers, for farmers. We are Beef and Lamb New Zealand.
Since 1948, Norwood has partnered with farmers, providing them with machinery, advice and technical support to work the land. And we're proud to embrace guardianship too, over the land, our communities and what we leave for future generations. And we're supporting a more sustainable, diverse and prosperous future for New Zealand, Aotearoa.
Massey University works with our industry partners to find innovative and sustainable solutions through research and development. Our graduates provide New Zealand and the world with the latest knowledge and expertise across the food value chain. From smart production systems to food product development, and from market research to developing international trade. New Zealanders are renowned for their innovation and finding solutions. Massey is proud to be a part of the Balanced Farm Environment Awards, recognising Kiwi ingenuity and celebrating sustainable land management.
Global freshwater demand will increase 55% by 2050, and 70% of all freshwater is used in agriculture. Water is a finite resource, so optimising its usage is essential. We believe efficient, sustainable and reliable water technology is vital to the future of farming practices. We are the partners for sustainable success. Waterforce. Wise with water.
The New Zealand dairy industry exports to more than 150 countries, feeding over 100 million people. We are world leaders in emissions efficiency. The rotary dairy shed was invented here. Dairying contributes over $14 billion to the New Zealand economy each year. New Zealand dairy farmers have invested in their own organisation to pool skills required to help them succeed at home and on the world stage, through discovering new ways to farm more efficiently, reducing our footprint, improving animal care, sharing knowledge, working with local and central government, creating quality work environments, educating children, so they can provide for their families, support their communities, care for their animals, and leave their land in a better state than they found it. Dairy NZ, working for New Zealand dairy farmers.
Down here, we are doing milk differently. We bring out the best in nature and unlock its potential through new thinking and new technologies. Our mission is to be a catalyst for change, to make sustainability not a catchphrase, but the core of all we do. Because if we can do it, others will follow. And that will change our industry, benefit our country, and leave a legacy for future generations. It's a hard road to do things differently, to try things that haven't been done, to risk, to challenge. It's a pioneering mindset to stand for more and play a bigger role in New Zealand. Here's to the journey ahead. Here's to reimagining what we do and how we do it. Here's to harnessing the spirit this company was founded on. And moving towards a future that we're yet to imagine. Here's to doing it with attitude.
Property. It's one of the most fiercely competitive markets in New Zealand. And that's why we at Bayleys continue to work to rise above the competition. We pride ourselves on being better, on doing our best to build on our hard-earned reputation every day. Since 1999, we've had a dedicated team of country experts whose skills and know-how have made us leaders in the field. We represent every sector of the rural landscape, from large-scale farms, stations, forestry, vineyards and specialty rural properties to lifestyle blocks and homes in the country. And we treat every single one with our legendary professionalism and integrity, whatever the scale. No one knows this market quite like us. We go above and beyond, time after time, day after day, year after year, to achieve the best possible results for our clients. That's why we're the nation's #1 rural real estate brand. Bayleys Country. We're altogether better.
To the rest of the world, New Zealand is envied for its spectacular landscapes, recognised for its agricultural expertise, and admired for its innovation. We're also known for being good sorts, and for over 30 years we've played a key role in that story, with a commitment to provide independent, expert analytical testing for the agricultural sector. We've achieved this by investing hugely in new methods and technologies that improve the accuracy of our results, investing in digital tools that make it easy for our customers to work with us, investing in new lab facilities that increase our efficiency and effectiveness, and investing in the sharpest minds in the country to ensure we remain at the forefront of analytical testing. 30 years ago, we made a commitment to rural New Zealand. Today, that commitment is as strong as ever.
Every farming region is unique.
The land, the ways of farming,
the people. That's why we're here with you, up and down the country.
Getting things just right for each place, like here at our Huntly Service Centre.
And over here at the self-service silo.
We've got world-class manufacturing right here in New Zealand.
But we also search the world, working with the best partners
to create the best products
and help you apply them in the best way to keep your farm sustainable.
We're busy supporting farmers in all sorts of ways.
All over the place.
Wherever we are, we're working towards the same goal.
Making sure New Zealand remains one of the best farming nations in the world.
Together creating the best soil and feed on earth.
Beef and Lamb New Zealand.
Time. Because we have some extremely exciting business to finish off this evening with. So if you could please make your way back to your seat or another beside a new friend that you may have made. Will be fabulous, thank you. You're either very excited or scared of me. I'm not quite sure which one, but well done. I'm being very diligent. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce to the stage the 2019 recipients of the Gordon Stevenson Trophy, Adrian and Pauline Ball, National Ambassadors for Sustainable Farming and Growing, to give us a bit of a speech and an understanding around their journey since winning the trophy. Adrian and Pauline Ball.
Thank you, family. Adrian and Pauline Ball, we are from Tirau in the Waikato region, and currently we are milking 280 Holstein Friesian cows, and we've got a finishing block where we have our dairy beef, this block here, and we're finishing around 150 to 180 beef animals every year. I'd like to thank the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust for the opportunities the awards have given us, and to have given to everyone. And it's been huge for us, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. So 2019 and 20. First, we enjoyed a study trip before COVID hit, and we were able to take Amber and Katie, our two daughters, who were 18 and 20 years old at the time. And we went to Europe and we visited dairy farms and veal finishing farms and a processing plant. And we were really lucky that we were actually able to take the trip before everyday normal travel has ended. I have notes. So on the farms, we've planted another 2,000 natives with the help of the girls on our Waihau riverbank, and we've started a pest control and weed control program as things have now just started to grow. We've tied another seedling on the dairy farm, and on that we're actually planting ornamental trees just for a bit of something different and beautiful autumn colours. Highlights. Working with the Balance marketing team on several occasions. The Sir Peter Blake Foundation, we had a group of young environmentalists come to the farm, 80 students from around year 11 to 13, that all had reasonably strong views. But to be honest, some of them actually hadn't been on a farm, and we were incredibly open-minded and really appreciative, and actually realised that, you know, I'm only little, you know, not a huge giant that's trying to change things and make things worse. So, you know, we're really fortunate to spend time with them, and we've actually got another group. They're actually returning next month. Photo shoots. This one here, round the table. 900 plus photos. and a lot of sucking in. Shoulders back, sucking in. It's a long day. That's our dairy beef cattle. And our daughter's actually on the ground somewhere behind them. She kept herding them back round to try and get the right photo. I think we also were really lucky. We had a group of people that came to that photo shoot that actually hadn't been on a farm much either. So we at the end of it, we've got one of the crews actually video calling his daughter, who's 4, back in Auckland, saying, "Look, darling, look at the animals." And, we just really enjoyed it. We've had awesome people come on the farm, and we've been really lucky. And best thing is we're still in contact with our 2019 family, friends. So, yeah, we've had a great time.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Environment Trust as well, and probably on behalf of that 2019 class, they've all unanimously said that their business are a lot stronger today than what they were 2 years ago when they entered the awards. So that's a pretty good outcome. Now, we entered these awards for a couple of reasons. One was my oldest daughter was sitting in an Auckland commerce class, and the professor said to her that pastoral farming was going to ruin the New Zealand economy. And she came home a little bit bewildered whether Mum and Dad were spinning her a few lies. So having those girls on a journey, they're at a stage in their life where they're starting to come into our governance structure of our family business, and they needed to go through a journey and understand what the family's core vision and values were, and the Triple A certainly created that. Probably a couple of weeks ago, it was probably more than that, a month or two ago, I wandered into a supermarket in Auckland, and my oldest daughter Amber was selling some Silver Fern Farms lamb, and she didn't know Pauline and I had walked in, and I sat there and listened to the story she was telling, and it was the best lamb in the world. Murray and Diane will probably disagree, but the story that she was able to tell those customers, and the passion that she had about New Zealand produce was just absolutely inspiring for us as parents. As we went on our trip, we saw a hell of a lot of emotion floating all through the world. We saw farmers, beef farmers in Ireland, in tractor convoys protesting about change. We're in Germany and Holland, all sorts of things around nutrients. And the thing that came to my mind was their emotion and their fear. And their fear was driven because they hadn't prepared. And our whole vision for our business and philosophy is to keep our eyes facing forward, and we don't want to protect the past at all. We respect the past, but the future's going to be in front of us. So if we have a really, really open mind to change and how our business evolves, and it's going to look a hell of a lot different in 10 years from now than what it does today, and it's going to continue to evolve. So if we can adapt, be open-minded, find solutions to all those issues, we're going to have a sustainable business. I think our journey's only just starting. We might have won an award, but our learning is going to grow and continue to grow. And I agree absolutely with Tony's comments that our journey has happened in really small bits of detail along the way. We've taken little bits, haven't tried to tackle too much at one time, but achieved little goals and just continually found the next little hurdle to jump, and it's created quite a sustainable business. But we're really proud of what we're doing. There on farm, we've got something that keeps us motivated now, inspired. One of the things I really thrive on and is the word inspire, and I've started to hate the word influence, because people need to open their own eyes, have a look at something, and see if it's got merit for themselves. And when I see my neighbours having cattle that look like that, which I'm seeing now, and I see my neighbours continuing to plant the river that we've been doing for a long time. I know that I've inspired them, and I know that they're going to inspire the guy further up the chain, and slowly we're going to create momentum. So that's really big to me. So a lot of our focus at the moment is just doing what we do well, and not diluting our attention to detail, because I absolutely believe the attention to detail that flows through all the farmers that enter the Balanced Farm Environment Awards is extremely, extremely valuable. So thank you very much for the opportunity. We've enjoyed the journey, and we'll continue to grow and evolve as we go.
Thank you so much, Adrian and Pauline. That was extremely inspiring. Thank you very, very much. Now, as they outlined the prize package, fortunately being able to go overseas, I'd like to talk through the prize package of the 2021 Gordon Stevenson Trophy. A study tour will be coordinated with the Ministry for Primary Industries, and what that may look like, we're not quite sure. From Balance Agri-Nutrients, a comprehensive mitigator package to support the implementation of a farm environment plan. From Hill Laboratories, my apologies, a voucher to the value of $2,000 for testing and analytical services. From Massey University, a fees bursary to enrol in a farmed landscape research centre professional development short course. From Rabobank, professional support for the new National Ambassadors Study and Travel Program. From Norwood, a voucher for parts and services to the value of $500, and a selection of special gifts for the farm from Dairy NZ and Rural Co. So huge, please, round of applause to all the sponsors that have contributed to that. I have teased and alluded to this part of the evening in various different ways, which is named the Ultimate Roadie. There's a few stats that I'd like to share with you from this Ultimate Roadie. There's 10 regional supreme winners, 2 very enthusiastic judges, and reluctant film stars, 1 photographer, over 3 weeks, 7 motel rooms, 2,853 kilometres travelled with 13 wrong turns.
Well, here we are, Warwick. We're just driving down the road to the last property we're going to visit. It's been a great year.
Nine years on the road, 1 year to go.
Yeah, you think we need to think in round figures, eh? 10 will be a good
10 or 20. 10 or 20.
Yeah, I'd go for 20, but I'll be about 95 by then. Yeah, you make a good point about the time we've been doing it and how things have changed. And you know, when we started, for instance, waterways, people were fencing their waterways and saying, look, I've fenced my waterway.
Yeah.
So this year we've gone another stage up. They're recording what's going down their streams and getting data. And it's a big move this year for me. What comes up to you as far as...
Yeah. For me, it's the business acumen. And the other theme that's getting stronger every year is biodiversity. It's really cool to see that coming through. I know we're going to pick one ambassador, but they all have good stories to tell. For me, it's the biggest privilege we ever get every year is to go and be on their farms and for them to share their stories. It's pretty special, isn't it? I've got one question to ask you. Every year you pick a particular food or delight that you particularly enjoyed. Was there some culinary delight we had this year you actually liked?
Do you remember that at one of the properties we picked up some cheese?
Yes.
And you were given the job of carrying the cheese for us and for the photographer that's travelling with us, and we were going to get a third each. Now you got it as far as Levin and left it behind the fridge. Now you've got it as far as Southland, you left it behind at your mother's. So I'm wondering, are you really leaving it behind, or are we just not going to get to taste it?
Oh, you'll have to wait and see.
That'll be fun. Perhaps we'll have to come back another year.
Oh, that's right. Come back and pick it up next year.
Yes, it'll probably be mouldy by then.
Time for a pint.
I reckon, and a bit of cheese.
Oh, brilliant. A big thank you to Alan Gibson of Gibson Images for capturing the stunning images and stories there of the Balanced Farm Environment Regional Supreme winners. And it's with pleasure to introduce to the stage Jamie Strange, sheep and beef farmer in the Wairarapa, who's been a national judge for the past 10 years. He's going to provide a summary of the judging process used to select the next recipients of the Gordon Stevenson Trophy.
So when was the last time you spent 3 weeks travelling with a cameraman pointing the camera at you all the time? I was starting to feel a bit like Meghan and Harry and feel a bit of sympathy for them. The Pony Express operated in the United States in the 1860s, and the idea of the Pony Express was to get messages from one place to the other quickly, and it was a relay system, relay of horses and riders, and they prided themselves in the fact that they could do the trip, whether it snowed, whether it flooded, whether it was drought, they would get the message through. And if you add disease into that, you could just about call this last round of BFA judging, because we got disease and we got drought and we have had flood in the last. So in 2019, October, the judges went out to start judging for this round. And around about 100 judges go out every year. That's what it works out at. They ask a lot of questions, they take a lot of photos, and they write a lot of reports. And I like to call them messaging. And I think when you write a report for someone that you've just been looking at his farm, I like to think it now as a slice in time. It's a slice in time you can compare a bit further down the track. Some of our entrants don't get enough criticism thrown back at them, but I just take it as a slice in time. Anyway, the judges then hand on that information, that message, to the finals judges. They go out and they check out who's going to be a winner and who's not. And they award various people the regional awards, and they also the Supreme Award. Now, normally, we have those judges, and we have 10 judging coordinators, and they're all here tonight, and a national judging coordinator. And their idea is to make sure the messaging through the country remains the same. And they do a wonderful job. They do a lot of work, and they're all here tonight, and I want to thank them so much for what you do. So normally what happens at that stage, we have the awards evenings throughout the country, and 2 of them got off before COVID came along, the disease part of the pony ride. So to get the message through, the clever people did Zoom, and so Zoom awards were held around the country, and apparently that was really successful because a lot of people actually had their families sitting with them watching them getting awards, where some of those children wouldn't have been able to go along to an evening, so that was quite successful. So things went to sleep after that because we couldn't move or do anything until the end of February this year, when the on-farm judging was taking place, and that, as most of you will know, is a 3-hour visit by 2 people, and it happens to be Warwick, Caddo and I. And we go on to check that the messaging that's come through from the regions is all the same, and no one's stepping out of order, and we're getting good messages. We also start asking questions which start heading down the avenue of ambassador-type successful people. Now, this year, there's been 2 of us for 8 years travelling. We got quite used to travelling by ourselves. And this year, we had a cameraman with us for 3 weeks. And it was Warwick's instigation. He wanted a cameraman for the last 2 or 3 years. And he said something like, it'll be good for promotion and it'll be good for sponsors and so on. But I've travelled with Warwick for 8 years now, and I know that he really just likes having his photo taken. It's true. And from my point of view, I was really happy to have it done because there's a lot of you out there think that it's an easy job that we do. And you can see from what you've seen, it's pretty damn hard, isn't it? And James Ryan, who's the CEO, he loved it too because he's never known what we did out there. So the message goes on from us to yesterday when the half-hour judging session takes place with a panel discussion, or panel interview. There's about 10, 15, 20 questions asked, and each regional group have put through a little bit of a test to find out just how well they would perform if they stood up here, for instance. And can't you see the wonderful group that won last year? Look how they're performing this year. Magnificent. So that process and the decision's made. So I've been told I haven't got much more time to talk. What I do want you to do, because we've carried this message right through all sorts of problems, and we've got here. What I do want you to do, Gordon Stevens will be absolutely proud of the people he's seen up here, and that his idea has come to this part. He would love it. So what I want you to do when you leave tonight, I want you to go out and get on your ponies, or whatever you're riding, or whatever you're driving, and I want you to take the Gordon Stevenson lovely message and make sure the message gets through. Thank you.
An incredible message. Thank you so, so much, Jamie. Now, could I please welcome to the stage Honourable Damien O'Connor, Minister of Agriculture, to present the 2021 Gordon Stevenson Trophy. I feel like I need a drum.
Look, Gil, before I open this, I just want to, just say thanks once again to all those people who got up here, the finalists. It was said in a number of inspiring speeches, inspiration, passion drives energy, and it was shown in spades. So I guess it's to move, it's certainly anyone connected to the land in any way, looking at those stories, would have to say they were just amazing places, built with energy, built with passion, and good luck to the future. It's now my great honour and privilege to announce that the recipients of the Gordon Stevenson Trophy and the new ambassadors for sustainable farming and growing are Evan and Linda Potter. This is yours. Take that on. That's nice. Thank you very much. I don't know whether we have to stand here, do we? Right, give him a clap.
Right.
Are you going to say something first, do
Oh, fantastic. I thought we were going to get a bit of a speech there. I'd like to welcome now... You will? Okay, great.
Golly. As you can probably tell, just slightly speechless.
Hugely speechless.
Yeah.
Always speechless.
Absolute privilege to be standing up here and receive this award. Incredibly humbling given the day that we've spent sitting in a room with like-minded individuals that are doing amazing things. We'd had a conversation and the three people we'd picked, we weren't in it. Interestingly enough, our local people that organised the event in our area said, enter the awards, you'll enjoy it. So we did enjoy it. Then they said, if you win, you just go to Wellington and have a great time. And then the emails started rolling in. Could you do this? Have you thought about that? It's not just about this, you now got to start thinking on this level. So first response was, holy heck. But then you start thinking about what you've been doing and what might be involved, and you realise that actually we have got a story. We've got a pretty cool story, and we'd like to share it. And if that can inspire someone else to follow something similar to what we've done, or even, choose their own path, what have you, that's most of what we're about. So thanks very much, and we'll leave you to the rest of your night.
Pleasure, welcome Diane Kidd, who's chaired the National Judging Panel. Diane.
Not an easy job, as you can appreciate. Kia ora tātou. Good evening, everyone. Well, firstly, congratulations to the 10 Supreme winners who we interviewed on Wednesday. It was clear to the judges that each year the bar for entrants participating in the Balanced Farm Environment Awards is certainly lifting, and also the age demographics of the Supreme winners is lowering, which is a good health indicator for our sector. The silver economy can't hold on that much longer. The diversity of this year's winners also reflects increased diversity of businesses, land use and ownership, and includes some companies contributing significantly to local employment and local, regional and our national economy. Our New Zealand food and fibre producers have their environment top of mind, and a variety of metrics are being actively quoted to illustrate their progress. I know, as Warwick and Jamie have said, what was really good 2 or 3 years ago is now bread and butter. We are lifting that bar, and what you expect to see on farm now is just really progressing and going forward. Just like to share with you some common themes that emerged through the interviews, and these included a view that throughout the last year and the COVID-19 pandemic, the profile and respect for our sector has improved, and Brand New Zealand has strengthened, with our sector being recognised and respected for quality and safe production, food production even more. Of particular interest, and it's been mentioned a couple of times tonight, is the power and benefits of catchment groups as their initial focus on water now extends to other benefits such as building relationships with other local farmers, supporting them and families, iwi, and local government. Growing these relationships is providing better social, regulatory and environmental outcomes for these rural communities and strengthening them. There are deep concerns over the cost, both monetary and non-monetary, and the speed of regulatory requirements across freshwater, carbon and biodiversity, which are overlaid by local and regional council regulations. There is a call for education over regulation and a need for integration. Integrated farm plans will be fantastic. People are very interested in planting natives, so there needs to be more timely research and data to assist decision-making around tree planting, acknowledging that exotic planting of pines is a short-term fix for climate change. Right tree, right place. The disappointing performance of coarse wool is an ongoing industry concern. As one of the world's most sustainable fibres, it remains an unsustainable business on its own. On behalf of the judges of the Gordon Stevens Trophy, I would really like to, we warmly congratulate Evan and Linda Potter. Evan and Linda presented a well-articulated, positive and holistic views about New Zealand and its future as a food and fibre producer on the international stage. They both have an excellent understanding of on and off-farm challenges faced by the sector. They are solutions-focused, understanding the need to maintain sound financial performance to fund the environmental projects. We know you've got to be in the black to be green. Evan and Linda chose to enter the Balanced Farm Environment Awards because they are passionate about the environment and they want to get around the table and not just be the bystanders. They do walk the talk. An impressive 22% of their 740 hectare farm has been retired into QE2 covenants, with biodiversity and trees a clear focus on their farm. They demonstrate a sound understanding of industry metrics around key topics of climate change and greenhouse gas emissions. Evan has developed a strong partnership with the Hawke's Bay Regional Council and partnership, in particular the land management and catchment teams, including hosting the regional council compliance teams to assist with their training. And they've both been very engaged at their local community level and also at a sector level, developing very good relationships with the QE2 National Trust. At an industry level, they're involved with the dairy industry as well. Their planning includes further fencing and retirement of more land for the QE2 covenants. And along with the impressive biodiversity, they have also diversified their income stream from livestock across sheep, beef and deer, farmed mainly for velvet. Evan and Linda have an obvious love of farming and a pride in the successful business they have built over the last 23 years together. They are practical and sustainable, and they tell a very good story many others will learn from. We wish them well in the year ahead as the National Ambassadors for Sustainable Farming and Growing and as recipients of this prestigious Gordon Stevenson Trophy. Congratulations.
And that concludes our evening as we play out and continue to celebrate each and every one of our regional Supreme winners. Thank you so much for the inspiration that you have brought through all of your stories. And the key message that I took from all of your speeches was to be the mouthpiece and continue to share what you do, because without you, no one will know. We can't sell a secret. So congratulations. Please, can I have a last big round of applause? The bar will remain open now until midnight, and the shuttles will be returning to James Cook through to 11:45. Thank you very much.
I know that window's closed. Why you gotta jog bad memories? And baby, what you propose, I might as well start eternal.